Welcome to another art school video. Today's lesson is all about the elements of art. The elements are the building blocks or parts of any composition. They are line, shape, form, color, value, space, and texture. These pieces work together to create a strong and unified composition. If elements are overlooked, your composition will most likely be weak, boring, and unattractive. It's time to learn more about space. Space is all around us. In art, space refers to the area in or around an object. This space can be divided into two parts: positive space and negative space. There is space all around this apple, and the apple also occupies space. The object we are drawing is usually called the positive space, and the area around the object is called the negative space. Distance refers to the amount of space between objects. Objects can lie in front of, behind, on top of, below, near to, and far from other objects. The ability to recognize these spatial relationships is known as depth perception. Let's talk about a few monocular depth cues to pay attention to when trying to create the illusion of three-dimensional space on a two-dimensional surface. Size. Objects that are further away from the viewer appear smaller than objects that are closer to the viewer. This apple is much bigger than these two apples, which lets us know that they are much further away from the viewer than the first apple. Placement. Objects placed higher within the picture plane or closer to the horizon line will appear further away. We can tell that this apple is much further away than this apple because it is placed higher up within the picture plane and much closer to the horizon line. The combination of size and placement within the picture plane creates the illusion of depth and distance. This boat appears smaller and is much closer to the horizon line. This lets us know that it is much further away from us than this boat. Overlap. This occurs when objects that are closer to the viewer prevent or block the view of objects that are behind them. This apple is in front and blocks out part of these two apples that are behind it. Detail and focus. Objects that are further away should have less detail than objects that are closer to the viewer. These objects are often blurry. They are not as sharp or focused as the objects to the front. Color. Color and value can be used to create the illusion of depth. Darker, shaded areas are perceived as being farther away from the viewer, whereas lighter and highlighted areas are perceived as being closer to the viewer. In outdoor settings, objects that are further away are duller or less vibrant in color. This effect is known as aerial perspective. Dust and moisture particles in the atmosphere scatter light and cause distant objects to appear duller or bluer in color. Linear perspective. Objects get smaller and closer together the further away they are from the observer, and seem to disappear or vanish at some point. Can you spot an example of linear perspective? Yes, the road seems to narrow or disappear the further away it gets from us. The flowers also get smaller and closer together the further away they are from us. Understanding how space and distance affect how we see objects around us can help us to create good drawings and paintings. That wraps up our lesson on space. As always, I hope you learned something new. Thank you for watching. Let me know what topic I should cover next. And like, comment, and subscribe for more art school videos.